Welcome to Soccer as We Like It, the Man United direction. Man United beat Fulham and advanced to the semi-finals of the FA Cup. If they beat Brighton and Man City beat Sheffield United, it will be a Manchester final. Joining me today is the one and only Louis, Houston Red Army and Denver Red Army. Louis, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
Not bad. We couldn't do the Sunday show yesterday due to unforeseen circumstances, but we're back here on Monday night. And yes, it was a very peculiar game. You know what I mean?
Oh, that game was absolutely ridiculous.
We didn't start well. I mean, Fulham are physical. They literally bossed us. You know, what was your take?
Yeah, man. Not good. Not good from us. Uh, the entire beginning up until the red card and all the mayhem and all these kinds of things.
Mm,
We did not play well. Back to front, there were a lot of problems, and I think Fulham were fully trying to take advantage of a weakened United side, a
hmm
fatigued United side, a side that is going to be forced to make rotations, without Casemiro. Look, they were good on him for trying to take full advantage. It's very nice to see Fulham come out and really make it a game and really get in our face and pressure. And I have to say, shout out to Tim Ream because I thought he played lights out.
The guy
I,
who won number six.
sorry?
Is that Fulham's number six? The guy who won number six?
I don't know what his number is. He's the center back. So yeah,
Very
he's
skillful. Is it the
very
minutes?
skillful.
Yes,
Very skillful. And
yes, it's him.
it's something that Tim Ream is, he's not been known for over the length of his career, right? He's always been kind of considered a lower, mediocre player, mediocre American player. But I mean, since the World Cup, I think where he played very well, and just since then, I think Fulham they're very lucky to have him as a center back. And I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. He's an older player, as good as he is. I don't think a lot of clubs will be looking to take him on. So they really, really have a gem. As long as he stays, fit and stays in form. I thought he played extremely well for us. That being said, though, I mean, it wasn't good, man. Our back line, Harry Maguire, once again proving that he does not belong in the United squad. Scott McTominay, hey man, if Newcastle want him, please, man, we'll give you 15% off, whatever you want. Just take him. I thought he was abysmal. Scooby Doo, where are you?
He was
Running from
abysmal,
the
mate.
ball, literally running away from the ball.
The
Was
Scottish lad,
abysmal.
as Kenneth would say.
Yeah, I mean, he was so far. Basically, what would happen is when the center back would have the ball, instead of checking in the way Casemiro would do, come take the ball off, he would be on the opposite end of the field, which Sabitza's trying to play higher, right? So he's disconnected because he's so high up, and the idea is the sixth is supposed to rotate right to left and left to right to take in those balls, but he's not making that motion. So McTominay is all the way out there. It forces Sabitzer out there. And I mean, you saw when Bruno comes into the midfield and kind of takes over when he's forced to play a deeper role, he's basically playing a six for us. I mean, towards the end of the game, he was basically a center back for us. He was playing so deep. But
Mm,
you saw when he came back into the midfield and he collected those balls, now he was playing through Sabitzer. Sabitzer had some chances. He
right.
was getting forward. He was making good passes. Sabitzer came alive because Bruno offered the link up play that Casemiro would normally do, but McTominay is just lost there. Oh my gosh, it
He
was
was
so hard.
awful.
It was
He
so
was awful.
hard to watch, man, and I don't think Sancho played well.
No, not
Fortunately,
till the penalty incident. He was lost
yeah,
as well.
not yeah. Once everything, everything fell apart, and
Anthony
Mitrovic.
brought energy.
Yeah,
Anthony brought
Mitrovic's
energy.
no right getting a red card there. You know what I mean? Absolutely no right. William, unfortunate. It's a handball. It's a
It
dead
was.
out of the goal scoring opportunity, but it's not what he was trying to do. But it's a red card, so bet on you. Sorry, see you later. And then the manager, no, absolutely no excuse for getting a red card there. It just they threw the game away, man. They
They
really
did.
lost their heads.
At 1-0. David
A
Degea had
very,
kept
very
us in the game at that point.
unprofessional performance, man. Very, very sad. You know, for I guess from the Fulham point of view and then the neutral point of view, I was laughing. I was laughing my ass off. I was in the pub. I was having a great time. We were loving every minute of it. But yeah, just unfortunate that it fell apart the way that it fell apart for them. Very fortunate for us because it allowed Sancho time and space that he needs to go forward and to play balls forward. So I mean, hopefully gives him a little bit of confidence there, maybe. Just to kind of have a good little outing there. But yeah, once that happens, now Wan-Bissaka doesn't have to really cover for Maguire anymore, so he's allowed to get more forward. There was a moment where it was after the red card. Bruno has the ball, and he's basically on the left. Wan-Bissaka comes all the way into the right back spot because, again, he's trying to play close to Harry. He's trying to play close to Maguire, and Bruno loses it. He's pointing, he's yelling, he's like, get up the field, and like you could see Wan-Bissaka's face. He's like, okay, and then he pushed up for the rest of the game, and he played high for the rest of the game. So I mean, it is amazing how negative of an impact Maguire makes there, and it is ridiculous how different of an impact it makes when Bruno steps in and McTominay is taken out. It's those two players, man. They really, really caused a lot of problems for us. We weren't able to link up, and we weren't able to keep the ball. No. It was a rough day at the office. We got very, very lucky.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the second half started, and Degea was called on to make some two brilliant saves. Then there's this corner kick that Fulham took, and the guy outjumped Martinez, and Degea had to claw that ball right out from Jesus. That had one of those goals. A second, I kept saying, the next goal was crucial. If Fulham scored the second, I think it was game over, man.
Oh, no, it was over.
It was because they had, up to that point, they were playing well. They were busting the midfield. They were running rings around us. They were using the width of the pitch. We kind of got lost somewhere. Rashford was nowhere. Workhorse was nowhere. I think that Anthony, it was that breakaway, that pace he ran down that right side, found Sancho, and the penalty kick. What Williams could have done, was let it go in. But like
it's basically your only option. It's let it go in. And look, when it comes off of him, I think in his mind, his arm is in. He's not out here. The first time I saw it, I was like, that's not a pen. But of course, once it goes back, the difference is because he's like running and he like kind of even leaves his feet a little bit, he jumps. So what happens is when he strikes the ball, it doesn't strike like the front of his arm. It almost like he knocks it down. Right. And the second he knocks it down, you're like, oh yeah, that's a handball. So unfortunate for him, but
the Mitrovic one, that guy was he
lost it, man. He lost it, and honestly, I kind of blame the manager because I think if the manager hadn't, because I think that's what happened, right? It's Willian red. No, is it Willian red card, manager red card, Mitrovic red card?
Yes.
Or was it?
It was manager. It was Williams, manager, Mitrovic.
Yeah, and I think as soon as that kind of happens, I think, as the manager, how do you go to your player and be like, hey, you can't do that. You can't lose your head like that. You got to be professional. He can't do that. He doesn't have that option to chastise him or these kinds of things. The manager, like you might argue like, oh, the manager didn't do anything that bad, but the rule is the rule is the rule. If you interfere in any way with a VAR review, like that moment while the ref is going towards the video, while he's watching the video, you can't talk to him. You can't be.
I know, right? Right?
So the fact that he like leans over and like shouts at him, I don't know what he says.
I don't know what he was.
I'd have called him a wanker. I don't know, but like the fact that he like leans over, shouts at him, and like is like out of his technical area, like in the middle.
It's unacceptable at that point.
Like, yeah, no, it's just it's very unprofessional. And I get it. They're 1-0 to Man United. They really, really want to go through. They're not going to have any success other than the potential of winning the FA Cup. So, I understand like the fireworks, but at the same time, man, like they ruined any chance they might have had Either parking the bus with 10 and going all the way to penalties could have been an option.
It could have led to extra time or
Maybe
something.
you get a counterattack and you score, could have been an option. But the second you lose your manager and the second you go down to 9, yeah, man, they ruined it for themselves. And a lot of people will be like, oh, Man United don't deserve it. But hey, it's about time we got some luck, because these kind of calls don't really go our way.
Not really, no, man.
I think, you're right. David De Gea, for me, was man of the match, honestly.
Obviously, 100%.
If he doesn't save that, you're right. It's absolutely game over. And he made, I think, 2 world-class saves in the second half, and a world-class save in the first half.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he was just – and, people talk about, oh, he can't distribute. I thought he played fine. I thought
he played well, yes, on Sunday.
I thought he was doing an amazing job of skipping Harry Maguire and going towards the wingers and towards the fullbacks. No, I thought he did absolutely fine. And yeah, man, I hope those kind of De Gea out people recognize, like, the only reason we're still in a quadruple is because of David De Gea right now.
Right. I mean, when you saw it, even up to before Fulham scored their first goal, the goal was something was coming. They kept getting closer and closer, and it's like the defense kept going further and further back, because the midfield there was no reinforcement, so we kept pushing further. We got pushed back further more, and at that point I said, oh well, And when they scored, we were not surprised. Really, we were not. It was over. They were coming and coming and coming at us. Then when it went into the second half, they came back out ready to get a second. De Gea did not allow it. Then all mayhem broke loose.
Yeah, look,
up to that point, Sancho was struggling.
Yeah, no, I think up until that point there was a severe lack of leadership. I think the fact that Maguire ever is allowed to wear the captain's armband, I think, is a farce. And it was kind of in the moments leading up to it, but clearly after the 3 red cards and after all the craziness, Bruno took over that team. And there's a lot of it's a debate that I understand. I understand no, he shouldn't be captain. Yes, he should be captain. I think there's equal valid points in both sides. But man, he made a case for himself. He made a case for himself, because I thought in the beginning I was kind of making fun of him. I was like, there's Bruno whining to the ref again, and he makes that face, all this kind of stuff. I was like, yeah, that's Bruno. But as soon as he dropped back, was kind of forced to play that 6 role, I mean, he was the conductor. He was pushing the wingers.
Orchestrating affairs. Yes, he had to.
Fullbacks. He was coming and taking the ball off of Martinez. You'll notice he never played the ball to Maguire. He played it with Martinez, and Martinez would play it to Maguire if Maguire was in space. But Bruno, he would play to Shaw. He would play towards Wan-Bissaka. Like, he was not passing to Maguire to save his life. He's like, no, bro, this is my ball, my team, my rules. And we're gonna see this game out. Like, we're extremely lucky. I scored the pen. We got the tie. We're going for it. And man, he took over. So big props to Bruno. And a lot of people had Bruno as their man of the match as well, which I think is fair. But De Gea, I think De Gea is the ultimate difference maker in that game. But it was just really, really nice to see that instead of dropping the heads, and yeah, we got lucky, but instead of dropping the heads, he took over. He saw the opportunity, pushed us on. We scored 2 more. So it really wasn't. And good on Savitsa. Savitsa had a good 20 minutes.
Yeah.
He had a fantastic 20 minutes, and it was after McTominay was booted out, and he didn't have to go searching for balls anymore. Like, the balls were coming to him.
I know, right?
He had a very, very good 20 minutes there. It's just unfortunate that the first 30 minutes or first 70 minutes of the game were just, God, it was shocking. It was really shocking. And you can blame the fatigue every 3.5 days.
Yes. Because you could see Rashford was not in that game.
Rashford was exhausted.
He was actually marked out of the game. There was a guy who was on him all the time.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I guess he gets a knock, so he's not going to go play with England, which thank God, because he needs the rest, but without Casemiro, which we shouldn't have to rely on Casemiro so much, but we clearly do. It was hard. It was hard to watch. and hopefully these next couple of games without Casemiro, we can figure something out. Hopefully Eriksen comes back in there. Maybe that helps.
Eriksen's back in April.
Yeah, but I mean, without that 6 rule, without that 6 rule, that CDM rule offering that connection, then you probably have to go back to a double pivot, which I wouldn't be upset with if it was like a Fred and a Sabitzer, a Fred and Eriksen, and they're just playing a little bit deeper and they're just offering that connection. I think that would be okay for the next few games. Maybe we don't win them all, but you know, at least we don't lose them all. At least we go, you know, we get some points out of that. Tough for Ten Hag. Really, really tough.
Like I said, it was a very tough game. It was a physically demanding, because Fulham were quite a very physical side. They were winning headers. They were on the ground. They were on us, rushing us, making us make rash passes, and it was a very tough game. But I'm glad we overcame. You know, we are going to meet Brighton, but you know, the semi-finals all played at Wembley. It was nice to get to the semi-finals. We don't want to be too excited yet till we get past Brighton. That won't be an easy game. That would not be an easy game. It'd be nice to get past Brighton, and if Sheffield United can lose, if Manchester City dispose of Sheffield United, which I think they will, and
I'm
only the game
right now, man. You heard it here first. 0-0. Sheffield takes it in PKs. Let's go. Come on, boys.
So you want to play Sheffield United?
Heck yeah, I want to play Sheffield United.
Yes,
you want to play City again? No way.
But imagine the big occasion. That big occasion. Man United, Man City, FA Cup final. Then the FA, they need something that big. They need that. Last year we had City and Chelsea and Liverpool, which ended in penalties. League Cup final, penalties. Chelsea and Liverpool, same teams, same game, same result. But I think Man United and Man City, that will be astronomical. You have, and Haaland seems to have woken up. That
Haaland has scored too many damn goals in the last 3 days. We don't.
I know, right?
We don't need him. I don't care about the FA.
Why should you be scared of Haaland when you have Ari?
The leader, the captain, is going to lead us on to glory.
100%. And I know he won't be starting that game. He won't start the game. If United beat City and Ten Hag sees the game scene settled, he'll bring it in for a camera appearance, come and, you know, lift the trophy.
Yeah, of course. And it's unfortunate that would have to happen, because he has been almost no help in this FA Cup run. He hasn't played the majority of the games he has not played, and the games that he has played, he's been abysmal.
Right.
It was terrible from him.
It was terrible.
It was incredibly terrible from him. And I don't get it, man, because the Betis game, he was equally as terrible.
He was. If I take us back to the Betis game, we as you know, go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the Betis game was just Martinez just reaming him. Just
you could see him, right?
Yeah,
he was so obvious.
Completely over it. Completely over it.
I wonder whether Martinez was speaking English to him. I'm trying to figure out.
Probably not.
I know, right? You know, it's amazing how we have so many international players.
Yeah.
Some, I know, what's his name? He doesn't speak no English at all. Casemiro,
he's learning. He says he's learning.
He's learning.
Yeah.
As you know, the Brazilians, they speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
So you have Anthony, Casemiro, Bruno, Dalot all speak Portuguese, and Fred all speak Portuguese.
Yep.
So they'll help him, you know, transition. Yeah, Bruno speaks a good English. Fred speaks a good English. I mean, Anthony, I don't think does Anthony speak English?
Sorry.
Does Anthony speak English? I don't think I've seen
Anthony. I'm pretty sure he does. It's probably not the best, but I think he does.
Varane speaks fluent English.
Varane does, yeah.
Degea does. What's his name? Does he? I mean, yeah, Workhorse does. Workhorse speaks fluent English because he's Dutch. Yeah. So yeah. So I think I'm trying to figure out what did Martinez say to Harry in that last game, because he was screaming and really rinsing him up.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
dang.
I mean, it was warranted. It was so correct. And it is the type of leadership that you want out of your center back, is to be like, that this is not the standard. What you're doing sucks, dude. You're missing your mark. He's running off your shoulder. You're not going with him. Like, you're trash. Like,
It's
you know what
messed
I
up,
mean?
man.
It's like, you ever, played pickup or had a kickabout in the park with your mates, and you just, you know what I mean? And like, it gets real heated, and somebody just turns, like, bro, you're rubbish. You're trash, man.
Absolutely not rubbish. I know the feeling, and I could imagine
Yeah.
what Harry was. He must be thinking like, oh God, is it that bad? But we got past Betis. We now had another Spanish team, team number 4. So we are playing in 2 leagues. We play the weekend EPL. We play La Liga during the week.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, lucky for us, La Liga is not a very competitive league. So,
Well, with Sevilla now, what's
yeah.
your take on the Sevilla draw? We haven't beat. We have not. They have eliminated us twice.
Luckily for us, the Sevilla that we are currently about to face is not the Sevilla that we have faced in the past. The Sevilla that we lost to 3 times in a row was much higher in the league. They got way further in the Europa. They've had a lot more success this season.
Now, that's the turn. They've won it 3 years in a row. The
Yeah.
first team to do it, and it's like that's their bread and butter. That's all they play for, Europa League.
Yeah,
So
but
even though the
same time,
position
they
in La
were
Liga is bad,
mid-table. Yeah, they were a mid-table, upper table La Liga side, excuse me. And right now they're 14th or something like this. They're down there. They're struggling. They've had a really, really bad season. How they've gotten this far in the Europa League,
that is what I'm
I
saying.
don't know.
That question was the question: how have they gotten to this point, despite being so poor in the league? Because this is the tournament. This is all they play for. This is their bread and butter.
What's their road been? Let me see. What has their road been to get here in Europa? Who have they been playing? I'm Googling it right now. Let me see. We'll go to the table. So in their group, they had, where's Sevilla?
We have played Real Sociedad.
What group were they in? Did they drop down?
I think they dropped down.
Did they drop down? Were they in Champions League and they dropped down?
I think they dropped down.
So, I mean, yeah. So, okay. So they're not doing well in Champions League. So they dropped down to us. And once they're in the Europa, who did they play right before us? Fenerbahce.
Turkish team.
Oh, yeah.
Disposed of them. Was the over 2 legs they dispatched them? What was it?
Sorry, go ahead.
Over 2 legs. How did they dispatch of Fenerbahce? Was it a close game?
Looks like 2-0. That was the first leg. Where's the second leg? Oh, no, they lost. They lost in the second game 1-0. So they went ahead 2-1 aggregate. Okay. That's where they're at right now. 1-0 to Fenerbahce.
So they got the result at Spain, in Spain.
They got the result in Spain. Yeah.
So it is that's what I mean. Oh. I'm not gonna.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah. They won in Spain. Yeah.
I'm not going to say, oh, because they're bad, we should just not. I'm not going to take them for them for granted. No way. And I was reading did you see what Jose Mourinho said? He did say, he said he thinks it's also unfair for teams who've knocked out Champions League. He said, once you're knocked out Champions League, you should be going home, not coming to drop down into a Europa League. He said, what is the difference? What is the significance of Europa League when teams for Champions League keep dropping back in? He said, if they win the Europa League, then that does not make any sense.
Yeah, no, it's clearly just a way to add more games, bring in more revenue, try to have a final with somewhat of a top team, a Barcelona, somebody coming in like this. It's not right. It's not right. It doesn't make sense. No other sporting event league in the world does this. You can't come in the middle of a tournament and then just say, oh, we won it from the middle. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. You had your shot. you know, you did well to get into the league that you were in, which is Champions League, or into the tournament that you're in, it's Champions League. Good on you. Fantastic. You couldn't cut it. You weren't the champions. Sorry.
I see Juventus there looking like they want to win it, but I mean Juventus. Have you seen them in La Liga? They are struggling, bro. They are literally struggling. But I was talking to a Juventus friend of mine, and I was saying, "But you guys are blaming Ronaldo for your inability to do stuff." Since he left, he said they have not gone past 5th position because no one is scoring their goals.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I'll say it. I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,000,000 times. Ronaldo was not the problem at United. Anyone who thinks he's the problem or thinks that he was the problem at United is just straight up just a hater. And I think Juventus, you're starting to see the same. You're starting to see the same thing. The difference is, you know, Juventus didn't have a unifier like Ten Hag to come in and pull the team together and be like, look, man, I know things suck, but there's a brighter future on the horizon if y'all stick with me. And I think that everyone has bought into the Ten Hag system, and that's why that United have seen success. I fully put that on Ten Hag, and I put it on the players for turning it around. But I will never say that, oh yeah, Ronaldo left, therefore Ronaldo was the problem. No way. No way.
You see Napoli? They are literally they're on fire.
They might win the whole shebang. They might win the Champions.
The last time, did you know the last time they won it was when Maradona was playing for them?
Yep.
No.
Yep. It's been that long. But I mean, think about Napoli over the last 30 years. You know, like just they have not been a Serie A serious title contender for long time.
Very long time. They've just been hanging around the 4th, 5th, 6th, mid-table-ish.
Right.
But
yeah.
That guy's the main man. Oshimemi, the guy who United apparently are looking at, a striker. He's got 21 goals in 23 games.
Yeah, no, he's gonna go for 100 million wherever he goes. I would love it to be with us. I don't know. The only way that happens is if the club is sold in May. If we have to go into the transfer window with the Glazers, it's not going to happen. The only way that happens is if we sell to rich owners, and frankly,
we still got to offload players too.
We do, of course we do, but I think that is very much going to be a target summer signing for us. It'll probably be the marquee signing. It'll be the big signing. As much as he wants him, I don't think De Jong is a option at this point. It seems very clear that he's not interested. So I really hope that Ten Hag and a new ownership would get together and be like, yeah, let's go buy Osimhen and bring him in. That way you could fill some of your missing pieces with some lower, some quality. Absolutely. You can find some quality at a cheaper price, especially if you offload McTominay, if you offload Maguire, if you offload Bailly, Tellez, all those players whose contract that, we're still holding on to. Offload those players, get what you can for them, and just turn around and reinvest that into the roster. Don't go and get our star marquee signing dividends. You know what I mean? Every year, man, I can't wait to buy that shirt. But, that's really what the mentality has to be. The mentality has to be whatever we earn from the club goes back into the club.
Right. That makes sense.
And it still needs an injection of cash. We still need to update Carrington, update Old Trafford. That's not cheap.
No, it's not, mate. No, it's not.
It's unfortunate. Like, people used to say, or people are saying like, oh, like, are you guys ready to become an oil club and all that kind of thing? And there's only one slight difference, because the argument is valid. I'm not going to say that it's not, right? But here's the difference. When Sir Alex Ferguson was talking about this in an interview with Pep Guardiola, when he's talking about, how Man United's $1 billion club, blah, 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 you spent all this money. And he was like, the difference is that Man United became $1 billion club because of what Man United did.
Yes, 100%.
They reached that point before they had this, American owners' influx of cash, big injection. Like, they became that club based on, the players that they developed, the championships that they won.
The success on the field.
The brand that they built worldwide, they built that. And unfortunately, now we're at a moment where, yes, we built that and we are that, but to keep up with everybody else, we need a serious injection of cash into the assets around Manchester United. It's not just about going and buying Messi and buying Neymar and buying.
Right, right.
We want to see the training ground updated. We want to see
But the top
staff
level facilities for elite clubs.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
We want to see Old Trafford. Like, some people just want it restored. I think that's a fantastic idea. Some people want a brand new stadium. I think that's a fantastic idea. But what we cannot be is one of the most decorated clubs in England with overflowing toilets. Like, that's embarrassing. That can no longer continue to happen.
No Wi-Fi.
Yeah, no Wi-Fi. Come on, man. ¿No tienes Wi-Fi? ¿Por qué no tienes Wi-Fi? Like, come on, man. We gotta be able to offer Wi-Fi, man. What are we doing? What are we doing, man? And it is just a poison, another symptom of this ownership, man. And any success that we have this season, with already winning Win Trophy, any more trophies that we win, wherever we finish on the table, the Glazers were not a part of it.
No, they were not.
But again, the Blazers do not deserve any recognition for any success that the team is having this season. That is placed squarely on Ten Hag, the staff that Ten Hag has brought in and decided to keep, and then the players themselves for turning it around and taking it seriously. Because the last few years they have not been. Yeah, man, it has been a miracle, a masterclass for what Ten Hag has been able to produce with the players that he has, and through injuries and through suspensions to still have success.
I know, right?
He is easily the best manager that we have had since Sir Alex Ferguson. I mean,
without a doubt.
And that's against Mourinho, that's against Van Gaal, that's against all those guys, because at the end of the day, as amazing as those managers are, and I have high respect for them, they couldn't do it. Not saying that it was easy. It was extremely difficult with the tools that they were given, or rather not given, right? But Ten Hag did it with pennies, man. He freaking MacGyvered this thing.
He did. He really did. He really did. And I would say, big props to him. He's done a fantastic job. And in his first season, I mean, if he's giving the right players and more time, he's on the way to turning this club into greatness again. And the right backing, I mean the right backing financially, the right players. I'm not saying, just going to be picking players who can develop into his own style and his own vision. We're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
But I mean, the thing is, like, a coach or a manager like this that comes from a club like Ajax, right? That is known for development, that is known for using the youth players to the best of their ability, getting the absolute best out of the players that you have. That is Ten Hag style. It's a very Dutch thinking. It's innocent of Johan Cruyff and these types of characters. I mean, big props to him, but I'm excited to see what he does at that level. I fully expect him, like Ferguson, to have a very good relationship with the youth staff, involved in the technical development of those youth players, and be involved in the planning and the individual planning for each individual player. I expect him to have relationships with a lot of those players, because look, man, we're headed back to Fergie days and the Busby Babes and all of that. Like, this is the potential, but I really think it only happens if we get the Glazers out sooner rather than later. If we get them out in the summer when we're already in the transfer window, fine, so be it. It sucks. It's going to take Ten Hag just that much longer. But man, if we can do it in April or May, if we can just get them out, get the new owners in, and get the money flowing in the right direction, man,
that would be excellent. So, as it stands, United are in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, quarterfinals of the Europa League, won the Carabao Cup, still in the race to be in the top three of the Premier League. We're now having a pile-up of games in hand, because And I think it gives Ten Hag time to diffuse. I know the players are still going to play this international break for the individual countries, but he has time to, like, okay, plan a bit, like, okay, this is the strategy we're going to take, because our next game back is Newcastle. I think, if my memory serves me right, first game back in the Premier League is Newcastle, and that is not going to be an easy game away. They already came to Old Trafford and got a 0-0 draw, so going to that place will not be an easy match, and they want to revenge the Carabao Cup defeat at all means. So, I mean, I don't want to be negative, but I see a draw on that one. I don't know, but I hope not. You know, Casemiro's still got 3 more games to go.
They are still currently the best defensive record in the league this season at only 19 goals conceded.
Wow.
19 goals in 26 games. They don't score a lot. They do not score a lot, but what they do very, very well is that they defend. And then they hit you with something off of a counter, or they hit you with something off of a set piece.
Right.
It is not an easy game. Like, they're in 5th place for a reason. They're fighting for top 4. They're 2 points behind Tottenham. It's been an interesting season for them, and if they, with under their new ownership, if they get the right pieces and they update their facilities and they update their staff, who knows where they could be in
exactly
in 5 years, in 10 years. It's
100%.
I mean, if we enter a time where for 3, 4, 5 consecutive years, Newcastle and Man United are fighting for 1st and 2nd place, man, that would be fun.
That would be fun. That would be fun. No, but I won't be surprised. It can happen. It's very doable, because I know they will invest in the summer. I know they would.
Both clubs are trying to get back to their glory days, right?
Yeah.
The 80s under Sheringham for them, the time under Alex Ferguson for us, and Nistelrooy's and Saha's and Ronaldo's and all these types of players. It's
I think we could get there. I think that it will be exciting times. I can't wait the day to see us Premier League champions. That would be something. Will be something.
It really, really is. I'm so optimistic, man, and I know, like, people like Bems, shout out, don't like to be, pipe dreaming and this and that, and I respect him for it. I really do, because I mean, the last 9 years have been rough. It's been really, really rough, man. But with the potential of a sale, and really that's what I'm writing on, the potential of a sale and just the leadership of a Ten Hag man, the sky's the limit for Manchester United.
I can't agree more. Honestly, I can't really agree more. You're very correct, mate.
But man, those final pieces just have to fall into place.
They have to fall into place. So, right, as it stands, United, as you know, qualified for the semi-final of the FA Cup, a big turn. Brighton, I'm not going to write them off. On any given day,
no, they're a good team.
A winner has to come. So it just, it could go anyway. To forget, at that point, league form is out of the table. It's not about league form. It's what you do on the day. So I mean, on the day. And hopefully we get through it, but we have other things to take care of. FA Cup is towards the end of April, if my memory serves me, or is it now in May? Because the World Cup pushed everything to June. So we'll see how that pans out. But Louis, thank you very much for joining us again on the Monday night special, which should have been our Sunday night fan chat, global Sunday night fan chat. But it didn't happen, so we moved it. We had the Monday fan chat. But it was a great game yesterday. United came out victorious. That's all that matters. 3 goals. We initially, up to that point, we didn't know where the goals were coming from, as you can see. But Degea kept us in the game, gave us an opportunity and a chance to go and get something out of the game. Do we care if they had players sent up? That's their problem. That's their disciplinary record. It's nothing to do with us. We can only beat who they put in front of us. So I mean,
that's right. That's right.
In some games, you have to dig deep. You have to be tenacious to get a result. Because sometimes it's not going to be beautiful, beautiful visual eye football to the eyes, pleasing. Sometimes it has to be rugged, and you got to be a dogfight, and you get a result. And you know what? You look at yourself like, yeah, that was a game. We didn't play well, but that determination. And sometimes there's also luck required, like you did say. Sometimes you do need luck. But from all of us, Louis, thank you very much for joining us on this other Monday night. I appreciate your time. Viewers, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Our viewing numbers are going up. Our subscriptions are going up. Really appreciate you. Keep pushing us up. As United are going up, you push us up too. I'll see you guys on the next one. Glory, glory.
Man United, baby.
See you later, mate. You take care.
All
God
right,
bless.
bro.
Take care.
Yeah, good night, man.
You too, bro. Thanks.